You walk into a room and you're sure of it. They noticed whatever it is you're self-conscious about today. The way you look, the words you stumbled over, the fact that you came in late and everyone turned around to see. You feel it. You feel like you're being watched, like a small spotlight's following you in, and everyone is quietly forming an opinion. And later when you're alone, you go back over it, and you're sure they're going back over it too. Here's the strange part. They're not. The people in that room were thinking about their own morning, their own stumble, their own version of that spotlight. That audience you felt so clearly, it wasn't watching you at all. Psychologists have a name for this. We call it the imaginary audience. And it's not a flaw in you or a sign that something's wrong. It's a specific move your mind makes. And it's worth slowing down to watch because once you see how it works, it starts to lose its hold on you. Let me give you the tool I use to take something like this apart. When I'm analyzing human behavior, when I'm analyzing human experience, I work in a framework I developed that I call psychological architecture. And the idea is that whatever you're going through, you're really going through four things at once. There's the way you're reading the situation. There's what you feel. There's what the moment seems to say about who you are. And there's what it all comes to mean to you, how much it matters. Mind, emotion, identity, meaning. And the thing to hold on to is that these aren't sitting in separate compartments. Push on one, and it pushes on the next. So watch what happens when this feeling of being watched starts in how you read the room and then travels all through four domains. It starts in the mind, in how you're reading things. You're aware of yourself, sharply aware, right in that moment. And your mind does something quiet, something automatic. It takes your own self-focus and mistakes it for everyone else's attention. Because you're so aware of yourself, it's hard to imagine that other people aren't just as aware of you. Your attention gets mistaken for theirs. That's the distortion. It feels like observation, but it's actually projection. And it doesn't stay in thought for long, because the moment you believe you're being watched, you start to feel it. That's where emotion comes in. The flush, the self-consciousness, the urge to shrink or to over-explain or to just get out of there. And notice what the feeling does. It backs up the thought. The embarrassment feels like evidence. I feel exposed, so I must be exposed. The body treats imagined audience exactly like a real one. And now it moves again into identity. A passing moment of feeling watched turns into something you believe about who you are. Not, I feel self-conscious right now, but I'm the kind of person people notice. People always stare. People scrutinize me. I'm always a little too visible. The feeling hardens into a fact about you. And that's a heavier thing to carry because now it isn't the room anymore. It's you everywhere you go. And once it's about who you are, it starts changing what things mean. That's meaning kicking in. Ordinary moments start to feel like performances. Walking into a cafe, speaking up in a meeting, posing for a photo. Each one carries a weight it never earned. Each one is now a chance to be judged. The stakes climb, and being seen becomes the thing the moment's actually about. And now here's where it all comes back around. That inflated sense of the stakes feeds right back into the mind. Of course they were watching. Look how much it mattered. Look how exposed I felt. The meaning you handed the moment becomes proof of that distortion. The distortion that you actually began with. The audience was never real, but by now, every part of you has testified that it was. That's the architecture at work, and seeing it is what takes it apart. Because the audience was assembled in the mind, backed by feeling, hardened into identity, blown up into significance. Every piece of it came from inside the loop. None of it came from the room. The people you were performing for, were performing for their own imaginary audience. Every one of you, alone in a crowd, certain of being watched, watching no one. The spotlight was never in the room. It was in your own awareness the whole time. And once you see that, it doesn't just vanish overnight, but it loses its authority. What looked like judgment turns back into ordinary attention. And what felt like an audience turns back into a room full of people, each one carrying their own.